fulfill 2030 UN Sustainable Goals regarding ecosystem protection and handicrafts and art, and especially global peace. We are all aware of the tragic situation we are now in. We don't forget who we are. We are human beings. And as a unique whole, we suffer with them. We suffer and feel their pain in the depth of our existence. We are human. But today, we decided to celebrate the Women's Day as per glorifying human righteousness and the need for equality and justice for all. Yes, we are all for global peace. Here, I want to thank our program partner, Pars Place, and their kind board member, Mr. Amir Golalipur. Mr. Golalipur, hello. Can you please give a short explanation of Pars Place and what is your vision of the role of women in the global peace, please?
Thanks, Zohrajan. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Amir Golalipur. I'm one of the board members of Iranian-American Community Center, Pars Place. For some of you that you may not be familiar with us, IACC is a non-political, non-religious, and non-profit community center serving the greater DC area. Our vision is to share and preserve the culture in the Washington, DC metropolitan area through creation of a community. We opened the doors of our physical center, we call it Pars Place, back in 2015, thanks to many support of our community. And during the pandemic, we have had over 140 events, and our goal is to grow and scale the organization and provide a base that can bring us, all of us, together under one umbrella. And we are very happy to partner with UNESCO BMW for International Women's Day event. Annually on March 8th, we commemorate the cultural, political, and socioeconomic achievements of women. While the first celebration of this day goes back to 1909, in 1977, the United Nations General Assembly invited members states to proclaim March 8th as an official UN holiday for women's rights and world peace. Each year there is a theme, and this year's theme is break the bias. So we at Pars Place hope for a gender equal world, one in which there is no bias for discrimination. We hope that you take the time to celebrate the achievements of women in the world, in your country, in your hometown, and in your family. To a strong women, may we know them, may we be them, may we raise them, and may we be raised by them. Let's hope for world peace, as Zohrajan mentioned. Thank you.
Yes, Amirjan, thank you so much. As you say, really only a woman can bring true peace to life, but we are all one, men and women. In this, we are together. Happy Women's Day. And now, for your information, this program is recorded, and to communicate with us during the program, you can raise your hand, and chat box is used also if you want, but we open your mics at the very end of the program to have some chat with you. I am eager to present our moderators now, Shilan and Goli. They will take care of this program today. Hello, both of you. How are you doing? Shilanjun and Golijun, can you please talk briefly about yourself and give a short explanation about the today program, please? The floor is yours. Thank you.
Goli.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'm a mental health professional working in Washington, D.C. I have the privilege of working with women from all walks of life, from the women fleeing gangs in Central America, to those fighting for human rights, to those working at high levels supporting governments around the world. I believe the woman's role in peace is to take the time to slow down and take care of herself. UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness provides access to these opportunities. Today, we'll be showing you ways to do that through connection with the arts, in theater, music, and meditation. We hope you enjoy the program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shilan Zaid. I'm joining this program from Vancouver, Canada. A little bit about myself. I am a faculty member. I am a product innovation manager, also an active civic global citizen, active humanitarian, and a chairwoman at the UNESCO International BMW Club. Additionally, I'm a meditation instructor and a life coach, a council member at the provincial VND in Canada, and also a proud mom of a 14-year-old teenager. I am here today to guide this program with Goli. It's a privilege to be here today, and thank you for having me. The question was that how do I see women's role in global peace? Well, I should say that we're talking about half of the population of the globe that women live in. So from my point of view, what I see women, or the feminine side of all of us, is the engine of wills and powers. So do I say that women should and do have a role in a global peace? I should say yes, with the exception of knowing historically, many fights has been done for finding a place, for finding a room for women. Now it's time to find our seats, women's seat globally, and then start the global peace together, hand in hand, united with everyone else. I give the floor back to Goli. She's going to start inviting our participants, and then I will come back to you soon. Thank you.
Okay. I think we all have to remember to keep ourselves muted and remember when to unmute. So I just wanted to comment a little bit more the history of today of International Women's Day. As Amir mentioned, 1945, the UN established the first agreement, and the day was official worldwide. By 1977, there was a proclamation on declaring this day for women's rights. The most, I think, important part of this background is that the work of women, these efforts, while recognized in 1975 and then 1977, and we still know there isn't parity, but while it was done then, the work started in first two big movements we had. International Women's Day emerged from the activities of labor movements at the turn of the century in the US and in Russia. So there was a very significant garment workers strike in 1908 in the United States. And then in 1917, women in Russia chose to protest under the slogan, bread and peace. So we hope these world leaders will continue to provide a safe place for women in the world. Okay, for the very first presentation, we have Ireli Luna Garcia. She's a youth ambassador of UNESCO Center for Peace in Mexico, as well as the head of the delegation for the country in Mexico. She is the point person of UCP in the Commission on the Status of Women. Ireli is on her way to being trilingual in Spanish, English, and French, and a law student on youth empowerment, sustainable development, and gender equality. She's participated since 2013 in Model United Nations, from delegate all the way up to Secretary General and faculty. Ireli, I invite you to share with us your comments for today and what do you think about the woman's role in peace?
Thank you so much. Feminism is a radical notion that women are human beings. Chris Camaraya. We live in a world that has struggled to consider, recognize, acknowledge, and legitimize that women are human beings too. I'm a 19-year-old Mexican woman. Since I was a little girl, I have experienced discrimination for these characteristics that define me, for being young, for being Latina, and for being born female, both in Mexico and in foreign countries. Today, near the International Women's Day to be on March 8th, I remind you that discrimination of any kind because of sexuality, gender, sex, race, and so many more is not acceptable. We cannot afford to live in a world that does not support a half of its population. We shouldn't even have an International Women's Day. It was created by the United Nations in 1975 as a warning of the prejudice and sexism us women have lived through all of human history. We are in the 21st century, in the peak of progressiveness, a time where supposedly we don't need to pursue feminism anymore, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Just in 2017, there were more than 90,000 victims of feminicide in the world. 57% of them at the hands of their partner. Every hour, 10 women are victims of feminicide. The region with the highest rate of feminicides is Asia with 20,000, followed by Africa with 19,000, America with 8,000, and Europe with 3,000 per year. In Mexico, my country, according to the National Commission to Prevent and Eradicate Violence Against Women, in 2020, there were 940 feminicides and violence increased 300%, according to the National Shelter Network. And I see it every single day in just the little things. In my personal experience, I see how my classmates are afraid to go out at night, how my girlfriends feel uncomfortable to wear short skirts, or how they were thought to dismiss sexual abuse as overreacting from their part. How my aunts educate my cousins to behave a certain way not to be harassed. How my mom pulls me closer to her when a man is near us in the street. And how I need to speak up louder than my male co-workers just for my ideas to be considered. As youth ambassador of UNESCO Center for Peace in Mexico, I work every day to promote peace, youth empowerment, and the sustainable development goals. From my position of privilege, I'm on my journey to unlearn the habits, traditions, and customs that do not forward an environment of equality in my life and in the community of UCP. I reassure myself the importance of being conscious of everything that's going on around me, even what I can't see. So, don't take your rights for granted. Your voice, your capacity to speak up and defend what you believe. Give yourself the opportunity to listen to others and think more than twice when you dismiss someone else's experience. You wouldn't want the same done to you. As women, we're in a constant battle and revolution to stand up for ourselves, time in and time out. In my short life, I've learned the value of a balance between listening and speaking. To speak, you have to listen. So, as we go through the event, keep it in mind. We're all here to learn and unlearn. In the end, we're all human. I would like to thank the organizers of the event, especially UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness, for creating these spaces of dialogue and to embrace peace through meditation and being mindful. And as I would like to learn from you, and I hope that you would like to learn from me, I hope that we can network and share our ideas and contacts so that what we learn here does not only stay here and we can bring it forward. So thank you for this opportunity and making me part of this commemoration. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Arielle.
That was something, Golita. I read another.
I can't hear.
You can't hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay, I was saying that I know Ireli for a long time in our summer camp, and she's the embodiment of the young lady who knows when to talk and when to listen. And she has been always very calm, at the same time very dynamic. We really need young people like you, and you are a good model for all of the young people, hopefully also in North America. Please, let's see if we can work together, collaborate with each other hand in hand for a better future for young generation. Thank you so much, Ireli. I am honored to have you today with us.
Thank you, Sari. I'm honored too.
Thank you. That was a very definitely sad, but moving and real and inspirational speech. There's a lot of work to do around the world, but what you talk about is a reality for women all over, including in affluent countries like the United States. So your speech is representing of all of us. Okay, so we're going to do a switch to did I disappear? My video?
Yes, you did. What happened?
I'm
All
back.
right, there you go. We're back. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do whirling dance show for you now by our partner Mehre Sarzamin and her director Arzu Shafai. She is the head of a cultural artistic group and also the cultural tour leader. So please, if we can switch to their video.
Hello, they just off my video. I cannot open it, sorry.
By the way, I'd just like to point out that Roxana is Arzu's daughter, probably dancing or participating in this program tonight, joining us from Iran. Hello, Roxana, welcome.
Hello,
Yes,
thank you
your
so
camera.
much, Shaylan June. Let me just
Good,
rotate
there
my
we
video.
go.
Sorry. Hello. We want to just start our performance if you'll let us. Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank
we
you
can
so much.
see. What a
Thank you
beautiful
so much.
outfit. Wow.
Love you. Let's go. Okay. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
us
much.
watching this. Thank you.
It was really very beautiful. There was some, I would like to remind everyone, today we are broadcasting from all over the world. So sometimes there's problem with sound. And when we post it, we will have the full sound on YouTube. But Roxana, maybe you could tell us a little bit about the dance. But just kind of my own experience, I have seen this dance before, and usually with sound. This time the sound was really small, but there was something so beautiful and meditative just in watching the dance in silence and the beauty of the world.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so
it is our pleasure.
I think it was good that we got a different experience than normal. I encourage everyone afterwards to watch it on YouTube. But tell us about the dance and what it means to you.
This is a Sama dance or a dervish dance, they call it. We just turn and it's like a meditation. You can meditate or relax in this dance and you can feel free in this dance. This is not a dance, I think. This is just a type of meditation, you know, and it's about the Maulana. We had it from him. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you to your whole group.
Thank you for watching us. It's our pleasure. Thank you, Shailanjan. Thank you, Zahrajun. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it for explaining what the Sama is. I have watched your performances before. It's mesmerizing. I love it. It's in my to-do list this coming year to learn some techniques. It's pretty meditative. You're right. It's gorgeous. Thank you very much, Roxana.
Thank you so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice. Goodbye.
All right, who's next?
Okay, we're now going to switch to doing a program on women of Shakespeare.
Wow, interesting. Yes, I can hear you. Women of Shakespeare.
Okay. So just a little bit on this. It's called The Root of Existence, the Power of Transformation, Shakespeare's Women. From the dignity over emotions of Katharina of Aragon, the wife of Henry VIII, to Jeanne d'Arc, who fights for the truth as the whole and not a piece of it with a specific agenda. From Titania, the fairy queen of Oberon, that projects care and balance as feminine qualities, to the destructive and dominating power of passionate Macbeth. Neophilia, the victim in Hamlet, who conveys the need of love and strength within. And finally, the music as not spoken voice of feminine emotions, but is a tool that leads the potential into the action. Okay, so we switch to that video with Women Shakespeare.
I can see the screen.
You know what? I am tired of drowning every time in my own madness.
Welcome to this event. We are very happy to be able to participate with all the group of Shakespeare's Women. This play that started in 2014 and still goes on. And today we are all united to share our feeling, our thoughts as actresses, but also as characters of this play. And now I would like to really address this question to all of them, all of us, because I'm included as well. So going through all these Shakespearean female roles, what do you think is the message that your character wants to give to the women of today? And you as actress, how do you feel playing this character? How did you feel playing that? And what do you think as yourself you want to give to the women of today? And to start with, I would like to start with Nicolette. Nicolette lives in Belgium, and she will tell herself who she plays.
Hello.
Welcome,
So I am playing Katharina of Aragon. She is the wife of Henry VIII, the first wife of Henry VIII, and she is being treated very, very unjust. First by her husband because he wants to cheat on her, and also by the church. And she has a deep belief in God, and so this makes her very it's a hard time for her. So what I would say, what she keeps above all is her dignity. You can really feel that she's been raised to know herself in the sense of what is right and what is wrong. And she really believes in herself. And she keeps her dignity throughout what is said to her and how she is being treated. And for me, that was very difficult because I am so emotional. I can just very easily leave all my dignity by being completely emotional. So it was very interesting for me to see how you can, keep that strength inside. So there's a beautiful message there. And I also feel a very important thing she wants to tell the world is that no matter what circumstance we are, we know our value, because she really knew her value. She knew she had value. And, the world is not easy, and we go through very difficult phases here and there. And it's important that we know our value wherever we are. Is that all right?
Thank you, Nicolette. Precious, very precious. And now I invite Deborah from UK. And what were you playing, or what are you still playing?
So I played Joan of Arc, who was obviously became a saint in the end, but during the play, she is very much the young girl at the start of her journey. And she's very much, I thought about her a lot during the first period of our lockdowns in pandemic, because we had so much time to reflect and look into ourselves because we were so isolated. And she herself was just a girl, but she was so strong in her beliefs, very similar to Nicolette's character, Catherine. She just knew her own voice so well and knew what was important. And she was fighting for her country and fighting for justice for her country. And she was thought of as being crazy because she heard voices from God, that she had a strength inside, that she believed in her voices. So it's I feel the message for today's women, or just people in general, is that our fights for justice are very much ongoing, but even more so on a global scale now. We have all these groups against climate change, the climate injustice, and so many different political groups, but it's knowing when we are fighting, when that voice is coming from our ego, that it's more selfish. But if we're fighting for justice as a whole, then we know that it's truth. And it's for us is to know our own. And for me, playing this character, obviously it was quite a difficult strength in myself to bridge to fight so much. And as a young girl, she was fighting in a man's world. So in a way, we have to find that strength within ourselves to believe totally in the courage of our own convictions. And it helps to have sometimes a big sword in your hand as well. So
wonderful. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much. And now Ada, welcome. Ada again from Holland. And tell us about you then and your character.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my character is Titania. She is the fairy queen of the Midsummer Night's Dream. And she's dealing with Oberon, her husband. And Oberon gets very competitive. He gets into a fight all the time. So she has to deal with that. And the way she deals with it is to be very playful and to seem to go along with it. But in the end, it is her actually who gets what she wants. So I feel that the lesson for today's world and the women of today is to see the balance and to also know that your value is to bring balance in society, that feminine qualities are so important now. And somehow we are so stuck into behavioral patterns that really keep us apart. But what we can do as women is to bring that balance, to bring the love, to bring the care, because we all see that society works a lot better when there are more women in charge, actually. So Titania is teaching that. I feel.
Very true, Ada. Very true. Thank you. Alexandra from UK. So you didn't have a easy role, did you? Or you still do? Sorry, I keep talking in the past, but it's actually very present as we're starting the tour very soon again.
Yes, I play Lady Macbeth, and so very easy to just write this woman off as an evil little devil, basically, because actually she's somebody who's just very, very, very passionate about her husband, very much in love with her husband, but it's gone to an extreme, and this love and passion turns into obsession and turns into a quest for power and absolute control, which she projects onto him. So all her energy is to push her husband up in position, and you know, she gives into the dark side, basically, of herself. She has a choice in front of her to choose good or bad, and she chooses hell, basically. Doesn't help that she's got these three witches that come into play and push the events in a certain direction. So the message is, you know, don't do what she does, basically. She has all the position of a very high-powered woman in a high-powered position also in society, and she abuses that, and she takes it too far. Playing her, I actually felt quite a lot of compassion for her, because I found in this role the choice that she has trembling in her, the fact that she doesn't have the strength, she doesn't have any kind of help or support, I think, in her life to show her the right way. She's just following totally the wrong path, and that's it. And I could feel that playing the role. There was this kind of mixture between this hunt for power and this desperation. And in the end, she destroys everything. She destroys her husband and she destroys herself. So that is the message. You know, you've got to, women have so much potential and so much power, but this feminine power is very strong in a non-dominating way, but we use it often in a dominating way. So I would say, if we can discover how much power and strength we have, through our love and through our light rather than through our darkness, that would maybe be a message for today, for all of us, actually.
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you very much. And I come to Emma, and Emma is the musician and composer together with another musician, but she's really the female voice of this play. How was it for you to compose, and what is the message you can give?
Well, to compose together with Leo, the music was a really enjoyable process, and it was just nice to have all these different characters from different genres and times in history, and to try and tune in literally to their character and somehow find music that represents them or expresses some aspect of their character and what they're expressing at that moment in their drama, in the play. So it was very interesting, and I guess we as musicians, we don't have any dialogue as such, but yet we're there and present throughout. So in some ways it represents the emotional side, which is also quite a sort of feminine quality in human beings, and it could be also representing this potential power, which is sometimes there, but it's not spoken. So if there was any message that would come from this, this situation would be maybe that the potential power, try and feel that potential power within, like we as women, but as human beings we have, and if we can feel that within ourselves, and perhaps who knows what can come out of that inspiration when it comes into action, or what power that can have just as a presence. Yeah, so
this is great, Emma, and it's really true. Because I have to say that your music, what the music gives to display, is a very important component, and is actually what you said, is the voice of all the emotions of these women, you know, then it goes even deeper than the words. So thank you very much, Emma, for your work and for having somehow given us the opportunity to manifest the emotions through you. And now coming back to me, I play Ophelia, and Ophelia is the victim from Hamlet. She's the one that is deprived of love, affection, nourishment. People are playing a bit with her, you know, they're using her to get to Hamlet. And so, I mean, for me, it was quite difficult to play the actual part of the victim, or somebody that doesn't manage to stand for herself, for her right to be used that way. But then an enormous compassion came to me from such a delicate creature that actually needs to be filled with that love, to be sustained, because it's still too fragile. And so if I could give a message through the character and through myself as an actress today, is to love deeply ourselves, to have compassion for ourselves, to nourish ourselves with love, to find the strengths inside of us. This is what this character somehow taught me in this small journey, and this is the message that I can give. And so now to end these moments together, this sharing of thoughts and emotions and heart especially, really what is the main message of the play is that women are the roots of the existence. They have this enormous power, like many of the other actors were telling of this artist here. They have the power to change things, they have the power to bear as well, but they have the power of transforming things, the power of love to transform things. And we should always be very aware of this. So we hope you're going to join us in some of your countries to see this play in the theater or on internet, again, hopefully face to face. And we were very happy to be able to share all of this with you. Thank you very much, and goodbye from Shakespeare's Women.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Women's
Bye.
Day.
It was lovely. Thank you.
That's great. I think we are right on the schedule with moving on to the joy and peace of Africa. We have a short video.
Shilanjun, Ada, one of the actresses, is here. If you would like to
Oh,
talk.
that's fantastic. Yes, yes. Hello, Ada.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, hi.
Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Please, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you.
Tell us a
very
little
much.
bit about yourself.
Ada, please open your video. Okay.
Yes, my video, I think people can see me, I hope. I can see you. So thank you for having us. It's great that we could show our video of Shakespeare's Women and the messages that we want to give to the women of today. Because indeed it is so important that we understand our value as women. As we see, the world is not in balance now more than ever. And it is so important that women stand up and take their place and become more into power, into powerful positions. That could be a challenge, but also it is needed. The world needs the feminine qualities of more love, more care, more emotions in the world. So I think that is something that also I myself, as an actress in Shakespeare's Women, find so important to share with the world, that we bring more of the values inside. Because what we see is, and we're talking about gender bias, that is the topic of International Women's Day this year, isn't it? Worldwide, we talk about gender bias and also how to break the gender bias. And I think that is also, it starts with looking at the behavioral patterns that we are all kind of stuck in, and that we also as women can do something about by also helping other women. So if you can, please support a woman near in your inner circle, because everybody is a role model in her own way. So if we can stand like that, helping other women really form these circles of networks, that I think makes already a big difference. And also if you work, see in your work how you can help other women to speak up and be heard, because that's a powerful thing that we use in the play Shakespeare's Women, that we speak up to share that love and that care. And yeah, people really feel that. I can share a beautiful anecdote when we were performing in Hungary. And of course the people there spoke very little English, but we had subtitles in a language that also that region did not speak. But after the show, people came towards us, especially the women, especially the mothers, because they were in tears, because they felt so much from the heart what we as women were sharing. They felt it, and they were really embracing us and with tears in their eyes, and it was an amazing experience. And I think you can do that with theater, which is amazing, but we should do that, yeah, in our daily life everywhere. I think that's what I want to say. If you have any questions, please do.
When are you, when is the tour starting? And where are you going around the world?
Yeah, that's a good question because, of course, also here in Europe, we're now post-pandemic. So we really hope to start after the summer to start with touring Europe, and we will probably start in Italy.
Okay. Any plans to come to the US?
Oh, dreams. No plans yet, but dreams we sure have. But yeah, so maybe that also our theater group, Theater of Eternal Values, has also a US branch, and they will also perform wonderful plays, and maybe you can watch those theaters, those actresses of TEF USA very soon.
So
Please
say
don't
it
forget
again.
Canada.
Is Theater of Eternal Values? What's the troup's name?
Theater of Eternal Values. Yes, that's correct.
Theater of Eternal Values. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'll look for them here.
Great. So if you have any more questions.
I think this is it. And I was just going to say that if you begin your tour in the States, please don't forget about Canada. I'm at the other end. Yes. Yes.
Well, that's a very good idea. And I have to tell you, one of our actresses of Theater of Eternal Values of the US branch is actually living in Canada.
Which part?
That's a good question. I forgot.
All right. A topic for another day. Thank you so much for being here with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me, and thank you for having Shakespeare's Women on this beautiful event.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Goli, are we right on schedule? Believe so. I'm going to briefly talk about actually, just to highlight.
We're a little behind schedule,
yes.
but yes.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Okay. All right. I'm going to be quick. There is a Joy and Peace of Africa. We have an interview of Miss Universe 2019 that we're going to play. Zozibini Tunzi. It's about 4 to 5 minutes with Trevor Noah. Most of you may know him. So we're going to play and we'll come back.
As I've said over the years, things are changing. The focus is changing. What people are trying to do is changing. And you've taken on a really powerful issue, and that's been gender-based violence, which is far from like a flowery issue that many people would want to tackle. Why gender-based violence, and what would you hope people would understand in and around this conversation?
Yeah. For me, I think my thing began when I won Miss South Africa. And femicide and gender-based violence is very big back home. And I realized that it's not only a South African thing, it's a global issue, because we have things like the Me Too movement. We have things like the Time's Up movement. Women are fighting all over the world to be safe again in this world, which is, it's quite crazy to me to have movements where we're fighting just to be alive, just to keep our lives. And I like to say, women are an endangered species these days. I feel like one day we're just gonna wake up and, there's no women anymore.
That
and
would
it
be horrible.
I know, right?
That's why I'm an ally. That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
Yeah, and so my thing is about gender-based violence is to bring in the men. That's always been my message, because people will ask women, what do you think we should do to fight this? And I'm like, why are you asking me? I'm not the perpetrator in most of the instances,
Right.
so why don't we call out on the people that are? And so
that has been really beautiful, because you have sparked a conversation, not just in South Africa, but on all the platforms you've taken around the world, and saying, hey, we need men to be a part of this conversation. We need to be engaging men and saying, hey, here's how you can do better. Here's what you can do to be better. Here's how men can call other men out in making women safe, because it's the men who are the perpetrators in
Okay. So that was the opinion of Miss Universe of Africa.
That the men are the perpetrators is where the video cut off. Okay. We need the men as they are involved today throughout.
Yeah, it was a good tease. All right. We're missing one of our participants who was going to lead the meditation today. I am replacing this lovely lady Dorothy from Africa. She was unable to join us today. So part of the UNESCO Body Mind Wellness journey is to bring global peace, inner peace to the practice. So for that, we're going to start this new journey. We're going to walk through a new path that maybe some of us would never walked it. So for that, I welcome you to join me meditating today together. What I need you to do is a couple of simple affirmations and techniques that we're going to do. Wherever you sit, just sit comfortably, and we'll start with taking a deep breath. I will tell you what to do next, and then moving on step by step. At the end of this meditation, you should feel calm, peaceful, and hopefully reach the thoughtless awareness. That's the ultimate goal. And if it doesn't happen, that's all right. We have many sessions going on globally on daily basis, as well as UNESCO BMW having live sessions to follow and take this step-by-step meditation. So let's close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath, and let's appreciate and celebrate ourselves. Open your hands and relax it on your lap. Life is this very moment. We exhale and inhale. Close your eyes. We're taking this journey together. As you breathe in, you ask yourself, who am I? And hold your breath. Who am I? Am I really this body? Am I this mind? Am I this race? Am I this gender? And as you breathe out, you say, I am pure spirit. We do this a couple of times. Breathe in, hold. Who am I? As you ask the question, the mind calms down. You breathe softer and more gentle. And you're calling your true self, which is nothing but pure spirit. Left hand on your lap, right hand on your heart. For this journey, we need to reunite, reconnect with true self. which is the pure spirit. Today, this journey is the beginning and reunion of self. With full confidence within your heart, you say, I am pure spirit. Calmly, 12 times, you say, I am pure spirit. I am pure spirit. This is the beginning of the journey we're taking towards inner peace. Gently bring your hand on your left shoulder. Tilt your head just a bit if you can. Keep your eyes closed. And here you say, I am not guilty. I am not guilty. Which is true, as I'm not this body, not this race, not this religion, as I am the pure spirit. Therefore, I am not guilty. Gently bring your right hand on your forehead. With the palm of your hand on your forehead, you repeat, I forgive. I forgive myself. I forgive my thoughts. I forgive everyone. I forgive. I forgive my thoughts. I forgive myself, and I forgive everyone. This is the gate to the new world, where we cannot carry the baggages anymore. Let it, drop it. Don't think about who, what, and why. Just say, I forgive. Gently bring your hand above your crown of the head and massage it. And here, the key to the world of inner peace is to want your self-realization. So here I say, I repeat 7 times as I have my eyes closed. We ask the feminine energy, we ask the motherly energy, Kundalini, God Almighty, self-belief. We say, please give me my self-realization. Please awaken the dormant energy within me. Please let me take the journey to inner peace. Massage and repeat 7 times. Gently bring your hands back on your lap. Keep your eyes closed. Live in this meditation state. And keep your attention above your head where you just massaged. And repeat. If the thoughts rushing back to your mind, just say, I am not this mind, I am not this body. I am pure spirit. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. Stay in this meditation. Keep your eyes closed.
Deixa o amor te encontrar, deixa o amor derreter as paredes do teu lar, pra te mostrar as tuas janelas infindas. Deixa o amor te encontrar na seiva bruta da árvore que transportou as tuas flores extintas. Deixa o amor te corar na pedra, pássaro e folha que encontra o teu lugar nas tuas raízes antigas. Deixa o amor te unir ao mais profundo átomo que navega em seu olhar quando tu lê as estrelas. Let the love find you, let the love make the walls in your home to show your endless windows. Let the love find you in the recess of the tree that overflowed is extinct. might find its place in their ancient roots. Let it the love unite you with the deepest atom that cells in your eyes when you read the stars.
Gently open your eyes. Let's stay in this meditation state. Let love find you. Let love melt the wall of your home to show you your endless windows. Let love find you. In the saw sap from the tree that overflowed your extinct flowers, let love heal you. On stone, bird, and leaf that finds its place in your ancient roots, let love unite you. To the deepest atom that cells in your eyes, when you read the stars, let love find you. By Poliana Rodriguez, the artist, the singer of this beautiful video. She wasn't able to be with us. Love from Brazil was sent for this program. She's a singer and a songwriter. And that was a beautiful poem translation of this music. Before we end the meditation, I'd like you to open your hands like this, level to your chest. Close your eyes and see what you feel on the palm of your hands. Do you feel coolness, heat, tingling, pinching, pain? Let's check. Now, slowly with your right hand, put your hand right above your head and check and see if you feel the cool breeze, heat, or cool right above your head. Just a bit higher, a bit, yes, perfect. Just leave it there. Good. See if you feel cool, heat, breeze coming out of your crown. Bring your right hand back down and then just try with your left hand, just like this. And leave it there. A little bit up, a little bit down. See if you feel anything. Good. Perfect. Thank you. I give the floor back to Goli.
Thank you, Shilan. I'm obviously much more calm now. I think if something has been valuable for me, and I hope others, if you already don't, to try to participate in some type of daily meditation, just for your own inner peace and calm. And as women, as allies of women, it really helps us fight and deal with our daily challenges and take care of our mental health.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the whole point. The world is moving so fast and evolving so fast, and everyone's trying to find their place. Everyone's trying to somehow settle down, balance. There is a lot of buzz going on. So in order to stay intact with true self, if we are moving towards global peace, the peace has to start within. This is the day that we have to reunite with ourselves, with true selves, to begin. That's the very first step, moving forward with the global peace, obviously. Thank you, Goli.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to considering global peace in the ecosystem of Mother Earth. We have Ghazaleh Mirzai. She's a mechatronics engineer, and she's going to be talking about Mother Earth and real values. Ghazaleh, are you present? Can we spotlight her?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for dedicating your precious time to my speaking. I am going to talk about Mother Earth. Mother Earth is an alive being in the universe that consolidates power and life while providing safeness and life to all creators without asking anything in return. She exists in the past, present, and future. In exchange for all this gentleness of Mother Earth, now it is our responsibility to preserve our environment and ecosystem by applying some environmentally friendly measures. The ecosystem consists of interactions of alive creatures with their non-living atmosphere, with their non-living surroundings such as atmosphere, soil, water, and so on. It is widely known that trees and oceans are responsible for producing oxygen and healthy air. Also, there exists numerous birds and insects such as bees that pollinate flowers, and they play an immense role to distribute plants and seeds of the plants. So those aforementioned examples all indicate that everything has its own function and together constructs the whole. And mankind is just a small, tiny part of this system. What if we commemorate Mother Earth and nature the way that we celebrate other occasions? It could happen by respecting the Mother Earth and nature with some practical and effective alternatives. For instance, public awareness of the value of nature could be enhanced by handing out some leaflets and disseminating nature-related information on the internet. People all over the world can plant trees, explore natural regions, bring light to our natural resources such as oceans, rivers, and mountains. And also they can observe the biodiversity of every province. All in all, human being is thoroughly responsible for increasing the insight to the importance of nature and Mother Earth and our ecological resources, rather than just exploiting them for their urgent needs. One of the most efficient alternatives to accomplish this aim is recycling. Recycling is highly beneficial in terms of reducing pollution and also reducing the amount of waste transmitted into landfills. Also, it helps to conserve our environment and natural resources. On such glorious day, Women's Day, it is good to cherish and commemorate Mother Earth and nature and express our respect to this. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Ghazaleh. A beautiful speech. I've disappeared. Okay. What's your, if you consider, the environment, just really your and the woman's role in interacting with the environment and world peace, what would you say?
I guess as I mentioned in my speech, I think that conserving and preserving our environment and ecosystem is really important. And each individual in the society should pay attention to this important responsibility and take this responsibility. For instance, when we go on holidays or when we go climbing mountains, we can, we can help to reduce the amount of waste that are placed on the floor and on the earth, and we can use less the private cars in order to reduce the amount of gasoline that are exposed to the environment. There are plenty of alternatives and plenty of actions that could be taken to save and preserve our environment. And people should be aware about the disruptive consequences of damaging our ecosystem.
So something we should all think about is at least one thing we can do. Even it's small, put something in a recycling bin or take public transportation for the day or commute with friends when you're going somewhere.
I think so. I agree.
Thank you so much, Ghazaleh.
You're welcome. Thank you for your attention and dedicating your precious time to my speaking.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, next we have a live performance for you of a young group. Can we connect to their video? The participants, we have two violinists, Sonia Haririan and Hiva Shirvanyan, and then on piano we have Parnyan Semsar.
Perfect. Gole, there is a video. We're going to play this video. I must admit, this is one of my favorite performances. Let's watch it together.
Hello world, and thank you for joining. I'm going to share some knowledge about music. Well, as Martha Argerich, one of the best classical concert pianists, says, music is like love. You can feel it, you can touch it, but it also burns you from the inside. First, I would like to say, why did I choose this topic? I've been learning music since I was 4, so you may guess how in love I am with music, especially classical music. You can see this woman in the background, Khatia Bunyatishvili, another concert pianist with lots of professional repertoires. She's one of my favorites. Music is the art of arranging sounds in time through the elements of melody, harmony, and rhythm. It is one of the universal cultural aspects of all human societies. Music is performed with a vast range of instruments and vocal techniques. About history, music has always been there for the mankind. Primitive humans used to call each other by music, holding their special ceremonies, and etc. They used to use some material like woods and stones and their own voices to make beautiful melodies. Not much, unfortunately, has left for the investigators to search enough about them. They're still working on that, by the way. But as we come farther, we can go through the churches. Music used to be performed for religious thoughts and events. People used some instruments like the flute, the recorder, and plucked string instruments like lute to make music. This period is called the medieval period, as you can see from the timeline. But also, we've had choral groups singing the sacred songs for God. The Renaissance period includes that. The Renaissance brought significantly increased amounts of harmony and polyphony into music, as most composers were focused on choral music. But professionally, it starts from the Baroque period. Baroque music, a style of music known for its grandiose, dramatic, and energetic spirit, and also for its stylistic diversity. The Baroque period saw the creation of common practice, tonality, an approach to writing music in which a song or piece is written in a particular key. This type of harmony has continued to be used extensively in Western, classical, and popular music. Allow me to explain about this particular key and hear more. In music, as you know, we have got a melody, which is the leader and shows the main path that the audience hear or expect to hear. Besides that, we've got another sound called harmony, which accompanies the melody. For example, in piano, mostly the right hand plays the melody and the left hand accompanies that. Or in orchestras, we've got one solo instrument playing the main melody and other instruments in the back accompanying the harmony. But in Baroque music, especially Bach's pieces, everyone's playing a separated melody at the same time for a same piece. This means all the melodies together can harmonize each other. The key composers of Baroque era include Johann Sebastian Bach, Antonio Vivaldi, George Friedrich Handel, Claudio Monteverdi, Domenico Scarlatti, Alessandro Scarlatti, and etc. As we come farther, the classical period begins. The classical period falls between the Baroque and the Romantic periods. Classical music has a lighter, clearer texture than Baroque music, but a more sophisticated use of form. It is mainly homophonic, using a clear melody line over a subordinate chordal accompaniment. The best-known composers from this period are Joseph Haydn, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ludwig van Beethoven, Franz Schubert, Michael Haydn, Niccolo Paganini, and etc. And then the Romantic period comes next. Romantic music is a stylistic movement in Western classical music. It is closely related to the broader concept of Romanticism, the intellectual, artistic, and literary movement that became prominent in Europe. Romantic composers sought to create music that was individualistic, emotional, dramatic, and often programmatic, reflecting broader trends within the movements of Romantic literature, poetry, art, and philosophy. Some influential composers include Friedrich Chopin, Fanny Mendelssohn, Clara Schumann, Jonas Brahms, Pyotr Ilyich Tchaikovsky, Franz Liszt, Sergei Rachmaninoff. After all, the modernism music. In music, modernism is an aesthetic stance underlying a period of change and development in musical language that occurred around the turn of the 20th century. A period of diverse reactions in challenging and reinterpreting older categories of music. Innovations that led to new ways of organizing and approaching harmonic, melodic, sonic, and rhythmic aspects of music, and changes in aesthetic worldviews in close relation to the larger, identifiable period of modernism in the arts of the time. But let's talk about the real music, the big man. Music has got three main parts: rhythm, melody, harmony. That we actually talked about harmony earlier. Melody includes notes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. That we actually say si instead of ti in Persian. Rhythm is like a map telling you when to perform each note. And done, this is how music is made, just this simple. In many cultures, music is an important part of people's way of life. In my opinion, music can be the key of peace. It can make connections between people from around the world, as it connects to the souls itself and having the ability to bring them back together. So, we're hoping as we go through some tough times globally, music brings the key, the peace and love, and all souls back together from around the world. Here is a piece performed by me and my friends. The original song is by Billie Eilish in alternative electropop genre, but the song has been transported to orchestral classical music by ourselves. Hope you enjoy. Hello, do you have my voice?
Yes, we do.
Okay, the piece we're going to perform is different from the video we just saw and paused. I'm going to check. Should we perform now?
Can we spotlight their video, please?
Anian Jun, please open your video.
Hello.
That's fine.
Hi, my name is Parnian Samsar.
Hello, my name is Sonia Habibian.
Hello, my name is Hiba Shivanya. The piece we've chosen to perform is called Jekyll and Hyde, and we also transported it into classical music trio version by ourselves, and we also added some extra parts.
We are here to perform a piece of music for the celebration of Women's Day and let people know about the power of music, because music speaks the same language all over the world.
We are trying to build peace all together by music. Hope you enjoy.
That was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to say anything about the role of music in world peace besides your video? Your video very much explained that, what music brings us all inner peace. Is there anything else you would like to say? We have you today here.
We just hope the music sends the message, because music speaks the same language all over the world. So we really hope it can build peace, because it can connect people together.
Yes, definitely, indeed. Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful performance. Well done. Okay, what's next, Goli? What do you have?
Well, we would like to introduce Ms. Atosa Estekizadeh. She's one of our organizers for this program today, and she's going to share with us the results of the photo competition. Thank you for all those who participated. Looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
Hi, everyone. I'm Atosa Estekizadeh, and today I have the honor of presenting the result of the first Women's Day photography contest for a special amateur photographers. First, I'd like
Atosa John, can you turn on your video, please, so we can see your beautiful face?
It's on, actually. Let me. Do you have my? Do you have me now?
We cannot see. It seems that something is covering or something is disabling your video. We just see a basically black screen.
I try to fix it.
But we can see your, we were able to see your video, your computer screen.
Just a minute.
Presentation.
محسن
Maybe we could move on just to see the screen, and then we'll have Atosa working on her video after the announcement.
Yes.
Just to save sometimes. How about that?
Yes, so can you just share your screen with us?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Atasejan. Can you go ahead and share your screen? Do your presentation, and then by the end of the presentation, we should be able to see your lovely face.
Yeah. Just a minute. I try to fix it. Can you go for the next? Can you go for the next, and I will fix it. Possible.
So can we go with Miss Safari?
Do we have Dr. Safari here? I just saw her name actually.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Okay. Welcome.
Yeah, I cannot turn on my video for some reason. It says unable to start video. You can start your video because the host. Okay.
Hi. There you are. Can we spotlight her? Okay. Okay, welcome.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Sara Safari. She's an author, a speaker, a mountain climber, college professor, electrical engineer, and most importantly for today, an advocate for women empowerment. She's the founder and president of CYE, a nonprofit that is focusing on women's empowerment. She's received the award for the Global Citizen from the United Nations Associations in 2015. She's a board member and director of development in Empower Nepali Girls Foundation. She also has received the award for outstanding practice and broad impact in the area of women in leadership from the International Leadership Association in 2017. Sara will be the first Iranian in history to climb the 7 summits, the 7 highest peaks of the mountains in each continent. Welcome, Sarjan. Please
Thank
go.
you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm gonna jump right into it. 8 years ago, I decided to climb Mount Everest to raise funds and awareness for the girls who become victims of human trafficking or are forced to get married at a very young age. I was working with a nonprofit. I am on the board of a nonprofit called Empower Nepali Girls. And I promised that I raise $1 per foot of Everest for the girls to continue their education. Everest is 29,000 feet. I promised to raise $29,000, which pays for 150 girls to go to school 1 whole year. And so I started training a lot because I was the simple 9-to-5 electrical engineer with 0 background in mountain climbing. I've never known anybody in my family or extended family who have ever done such a thing. So it was beyond my comfort zone, but I was willing to train for it, but it's because it wasn't for me. It was to raise funds for the girls so that they can continue their education. And I had a bunch of fails at the beginning. It was so difficult, the cold weather, the high altitude. I failed and I failed and I failed. And finally, when I went to Nepal and I met the girls for the first time, and I saw their beautiful smiles, and I saw the situation that they live in, I saw the opportunities that they could have as a result of continuing their education. And that was just very heartbreaking, but it was very inspiring because I saw the opportunity and I saw how we can easily make a difference there for them. And that was kind of a lot of motivation for me to train for such a high altitude mountains and at the same time helping them. And, you know, for me, this project was not just me getting on top of the mountain. It was mostly, I wanted to be able to raise these funds for the girls and climb these mountains on behalf of all the women around the world who want to do such a thing, but because of the culture, because of the situation they live in, because of so many barriers and discriminations in their cultures, they cannot do such a thing. So it was not just for me, it was on behalf of the 4 billion of us who live on the planet, just a little bit less than 4 billion, very soon will be 4 billion on the planet. And it was kind of a group project for me. So finally, when I trained and when I was ready to climb Mount Everest in 2015, there was a 7.8 earthquake while I was on the mountain, climbing the mountain at 20,000 feet. I was climbing an ice wall and there was a 7.8 earthquake, avalanches. It was very crazy, and somehow I survived that. I don't know how, but somehow there was pieces of ice the size of a car tumbling down the mountain, and none of them hit me. I don't know how. So I decided to look at that day, even though I was extremely traumatized. I decided to look at that day as my second birthday, the real birthday, the birthday that I realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And my goal was to just go climb Everest, raise this money, and go back to my electrical engineering and kind of be done with this. But really, my whole journey started as a result of that earthquake, as a result of just getting my second life. And so I declared that I'm going to go back and climb Everest again. I'm actually going back in 20 days to climb Everest, in parentheses. So I promised that I'm going to go back and climb Everest again, but this time not just Everest. I'm going to add 6 more mountains to it, which is the 7 summits, the 7 highest peaks on 7 continents, for 7 organizations who are empowering women globally, not just the one organization that I found and I dearly love and I'm on the board. I found 6 other organizations, one in Iran, one in for Syrian refugees, for American girls, the women who become victims of abuse and violence, the women in Tanzania, in Africa, who are recovering from fistula, which is a disease they get in the reproductive system because they live so far from hospitals and doctors. So it's kind of, the project that started growing so beautifully and very inspiring for me and for all the women who heard my story, my background, how I grew up experiencing so much discrimination, and really everything that I didn't have when I was a kid, as a little girl, now I wanted to provide it to all the other girls around the world. And recently, I decided to start my own nonprofit called Climb Your Everest. And I named it Climb Your Everest because me and all the women, all of us, we all have Everests that we are climbing every day. We have so many obstacles, so many challenges, and I'm calling those challenges our Everest that we are climbing every day. And in my nonprofit, we are creating and developing programs to teach women skills that they need the most to be able to find a better job, continue their education, kind of take their life to the next level and live fulfilling lives. And this is based on my PhD research, which is I graduated in 2020. So the whole month during COVID, I was writing my dissertation. So it's based on my research, and my research is on how to empower women in developing countries by providing leadership skills for them, not in terms of providing just lectures, but basically by collaborating with the marginalized women and including them in the design of the project. So they design it themselves based on their own needs and how they can make their own lives better. So they are collaborating with us to design the whole program for themselves. And we tailor the program for each country, for each culture, even though all over the world, we are all kind of dealing with the same problems, but each culture is just a little bit different from the other culture. So we want all the women to be involved in designing the program. So in 20 days, I'm going back to climb Mount Everest again, after 7 years, after the earthquake. I don't know how it's going to be. I cannot promise that I'll make it to the top, but I'm doing my best. I've been training like crazy. And I'm really excited that for this climb, I'm dedicating it to my nonprofit, Climb Your Everest, and I'm raising another $29,000, $1 per foot of Everest, to help these women gain some skills to take their life to the next level and be the leader that they deserve to be in their life. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, it's, you said something, you said, well, first of all, I am sure there's not going to be another earthquake in 20 days. I'm sure of it. So you don't have to worry about that. But what are the chances that there could be an earthquake? As you've said, and on a mountain, and you said it was traumatic and you survived that trauma. I have the privilege as a therapist working with women who deal with trauma every day, and the beauty of what can happen when we go past the trauma. You just keep going. As you said, the rebirth, you said it was your second birthday, and all the things that you have created, and you starting, in Nepal, but you just kind of move around the world and in all these ways, really spreading peace, just individually as one person to other women and around the world. We thank you for this. Thank you so much. This is beautiful.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor. And thank you for inviting me to be here.
Dr. Safari, it's so nice to meeting you
Nice to
here.
meet you.
In the chat box, we shared your fundraising site for
you.
our participants, and it will be shared on our YouTube as well.
Thank you.
Your story, it's fascinating, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing with so much compassion, so much love. Honestly, you gave me goosebumps all over. And then I have tear of joy in my eyes. Thank you for being here today with us.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so if we go back to, do we have Ms. Atasa's video? Can we see her again?
Yes, hi.
And her video screen. There you are, hello.
Hi again. Sorry for the technical problem. So, as I told you, I'm Atusa Estekizadeh, and today I have the honor of presenting the result of the first Women's Day photography contest for special amateur photographers. First, I'd like to introduce our esteemed judges. Mr. Masoud Hosseini, freelance photographer and videographer, Pulitzer Prize and WordPress photo winner. Ms. Vida Negahban, freelance photographer, writer, and poet. Mr. Hamed Khosrowshahi, portrait and conceptual photographer. The judges express their sincere gratitude to all the participants of the competition and the organizer of the festival. They have also made the following point statement. Given the purpose of the competition and the focus on looking at the role of the women in world peace, society, family, immigration, and the fight against COVID, and with an emphasis on creating a space to introduce the perspective of amateur photographers. We hope the sapling planted here today will grow in the following years to form an international partnership with a wide range of both amateur and professional photographers. The judges unanimously voted on the submitted photographs as follows. Could you please show the picture, the third one, the third place, please? Third place for conceptual view on women's role in achieving peace goes to Marale Yarullahi. And the second place, please, second picture. Second place for the detailed look at peace in the COVID era goes to Farangis Sepehri. And the first place, please. And finally, for the creative lens used to approach the role of women in growth and development at all ages. First place goes to Sain Babak. I hope that I pronounced this name correctly. With the hope of peace for all the world, thanks for your attention.
Congratulations to all our winners.
Congratulations.
Beautiful pictures. Wow, so meaningful. They all have a story behind it. I can feel.
We don't have any words about the pictures from the photographers, do we?
No,
They
we don't
share.
have.
Yeah, it's our vision. Lovely, thank you.
Beautiful.
Maybe next year, yeah.
Thank you, Atusa John. I just want to tell you all that the first two winners get the 2 years membership with our organization, and the third one, an appreciation letter. And anyway, the photos will be displayed for whole year on our website. I hope that they can be more than happy to be part of our family and organization. So I think that we joined the end of our program.
I believe so, yes. How much time do we have, Zore?
1 minute.
Oh, all right. Should I just wrap up quickly then?
Sure.
All right. So, well, our program is coming to an end, but I'd like to take this opportunity and thank all the hardworking team behind the scene who are not the face of this program today. I'd like to thank our tech team. Obviously, there are many people who contributed in this amazing program, worked really hard, days and days, weeks and weeks for this beautiful program. However, for today, we have Mehdi and Samia, who took charge of our broadcast, and thank you so much. You've done a great job. It made our performance very smooth, stress-free. I am not a computer savvy, so I always need a hand behind the scene to support and switch between screens. I really appreciate it. Zora, thank you so much for the opportunities that given me and Goli to be here and be part of this fascinating program celebrating International Women's Day at the International UNESCO Body Mind Wellness. Please, if any suggestion, any ideas, any topics you'd like to share with us, email us at unescobmw@gmail.com. We are open to suggestions. We listen to your questions. We are here to be your voice, or your voice. Just be a platform for your voice. Please check our website. We have ongoing programs, daily programs. We have various activities. You may find yourself interested in any. We'd be happy to have you as a sponsor, as a volunteer, as a member, as a partner, however way you'd like to hold a hand in inner peace. And I think I have covered most of it. Zora, if there is anything else you'd like to share.
I would love to thank all of you, all the audience and people who help here, our moderators and tech team. And yes, today was Women's Day, but we know that women and men have that feminine and qualities and aspects within that is a similar way of forgiving, thinking, and be creative, dignified, responsible, and the most important thing, to be peaceful. We are all one. Any human pain is our pain, and any kind of glory is our glory. We want, as UNESCO Body and Mind Wellness, wish peace for all humanity from within and without. Thank you and see you